John and Christina were two rich married dogs. John was a dachshund. He loved to eat. He was always hungry. His favorite treat was sausage. Christina was a poodle. She was very smart. She loved to read books. They hired Zach in their own time of 2243 to be a guide around the world, not time, but Zach had different plans. Zach was a bulldog. He was always getting into trouble. He loved history. Zach lived in a big house. He had everything a dog could ever want. He had a big yard to play in. He had comfy beds to sleep in. He even had his own TV. John and Christina wanted to learn and see more. They wanted to go on adventures. They wanted to see the world, but they did not want to travel through time. When they got back from Egypt, 2028, they were back in the basement. There it was, an old bathtub with a bunch of wires and dials on it. "Where you gonna make us go next?" asked John. "I don't know, hopefully before the Great War between dogs and humans started," said Christina. "But it probably won't be interesting." She tilted her head, trying to make sense of the strange old dog named the History Dog standing in front of them. Zach, being old and a bit, hopped right in. He couldn't resist reminding the married dog that their new adventure would be China 1990. He started pressing buttons and pulling levers, his joy getting the better of him. Each button made a different sound, and Zach's excitement grew with every press. "Zach, be careful!" shouted Christina. She could sense that something was about to go wrong, but it was too late. Zach had already set things in motion. The bathtub started to shake and spin, sparks flew, and the room filled with a strange humming noise. The dogs were surrounded by bright lights and strange noises. It felt like they were being transported somewhere far away. Then everything went dark. The silence was deafening. When the dogs opened their eyes, they were in a different place. John and Christina looked around, trying to understand where they had landed. The air was thick with the smell of incense and spices. It was a completely different world from what they knew. Tall buildings with curved roofs reached for the sky. The architecture was unlike anything they had ever seen. "Where are we?" asked John, his tail between his legs. Christina sniffed the air, trying to pick up any familiar scents. "I don't know," she said, "but it feels like we're in a different time and place altogether. But I think we're in China." The realization hit John and Christina at once. Zach, always eager for an adventure, jumped out of the tub. His eyes sparkled with excitement. "This is China 1990, he shouted. "This is awesome," he exclaimed. "Come on, let's explore." He couldn't wait to see what troubles this place had to offer. And so, the three friends set off to explore the bustling streets of 1990s China. They were ready for whatever adventures awaited them. The streets were a riot of color and sound, a sensory overload that was both exhilarating and overwhelming. People rushed by, their voices a jumble of unfamiliar languages, creating a symphony of human interaction. John and Christina had never seen anything like it. The vibrant energy of the place was infectious. They wandered through markets filled with exotic fruits and strange sea creatures, each stall offering a new surprise. They watched in amazement as street performers swallowed fire, their eyes wide with wonder, and balanced spinning plates on sticks, defying gravity with every spin. Eventually their noses led them to a massive stadium filled with the roar of a crowd, the excitement palpable in the air. It was the Asian Games, a grand celebration of athletic prowess and cultural unity. They watched in awe as athletes from across the continent competed in feats of strength, speed and agility, each performance more impressive than the last. John and Christina could not understand how the humans could do this. Back in their 2243, the humans were small and not smart enough to do this. John was particularly impressed by the field hockey players, their sheer power and determination leaving him speechless. "Wow," he said, "imagine how many sausages they must eat to get that strong." His comment made Zach laugh. Christina, ever the scholar, was fascinated by the strategy and skill of the football players, analyzing every move with keen interest. Zach, meanwhile, couldn't sit still. The energy of the event was contagious, and he felt an overwhelming urge to participate. He wanted to join in on the action, barking and chasing after the runners, his enthusiasm adding to the lively atmosphere. As they left the stadium, they stumbled upon a quiet garden. In the center sat an old dragon, his eyes closed in meditation. He wore a simple smile, yet an aura of wisdom and power seemed to emanate from him. Strangely, he didn't seem surprised to see the dogs. In fact, he smiled at them, his eyes twinkling. "Welcome, travelers," he said, his voice deep and resonant. "I have been expecting you." The dogs were astonished. Not only could he see them, but he could speak to them as well. "Who are you?" asked Christina, her tail wagging nervously. "I am known as the Dragon Lord," he replied, "and I believe you have something that belongs to me." He looked pointedly at Zack, who was sniffing around, looking a bit scared for the first time. Zack froze, a guilty look on his face. He had picked up a small, smooth stone from the garden. It pulsed with a faint warmth. "This?" he asked, dropping the stone at the Dragon Lord's feet. "Yes," said the Dragon Lord, picking it up. "This is no ordinary stone. It is a key, a link to the very fabric of time. It seems you have stumbled upon something extraordinary, my canine friends." John, never one to miss a meal, piped up, "Speaking of extraordinary, do you have any sausages?" Christina, ignoring John's outburst, asked the question that had been on her mind. "Why can you see us and speak to us? In 2243 humans can't understand us," and Zack said, "No one can see or hear us." The Dragon Lord smiled. "There is much you do not yet understand about the universe," he said, his voice filled with ancient wisdom. "This stone you carry," he continued, holding up the pulsing stone, "is not just an ordinary artifact. It is more than just a key to time. It holds the secrets of the ancients, a repository of knowledge lost to the ages. It is a bridge between worlds, a conduit of understanding that connects the past, present, and future. It allows those who possess it to perceive and interact with realms beyond their own, unlocking mysteries that defy comprehension." He looked at Zack, a mischievous glint in his eye, as if he knew more than he was letting on. "It seems you, old Zack, that they call the history dog. You have a knack for attracting trouble and ancient artifacts. Your curiosity is both a gift and a curse." Zack wagged his tail sheepishly, unsure of what to make of the Dragon Lord's words. John and Christina didn't understand half of what the Dragon Lord was saying, but they knew it was important. The weight of the stone in his hand looked significant. "But what does it all mean?" asked Christina, her voice tinged with curiosity and concern. "Where will this stone take us?" she continued, her eyes searching the Dragon Lord's face for answers. The Dragon Lord's gaze turned distant, as if he was peering into the very fabric of time itself. "That, my friends, is the question Zack must answer for you," he said. "The possibilities are limitless, but so are the dangers. But be warned, the journey ahead is not without its perils. The path you choose will test you in ways you cannot yet imagine. You will need all your courage, your wit, and your friendship to survive. Together you can overcome any obstacle." He pointed to the bathtub, which had mysteriously followed them into the garden. It shimmered faintly, the dials glowing. "It seems your next destination awaits," he said. "Philadelphia, 1985. Go eat cheesesteaks and listen to the Live Aid concert. Go now, and may the universe guide your paws." With a mix of excitement and trepidation, John, Christina, and Zack approached the bathtub. They looked back at the Dragon Lord, his wise eyes filled with an unknown emotion. Zack, never one to hesitate, jumped in, followed by a hesitant John and a curious Christina. The familiar hum and vibration filled the air as the bathtub sprang to life, whisking them away on their next adventure. Where would they go next? Only Zack knew his plan. What awaited them in the city of brotherly love in the year 1985, only time would tell.